You know, new twists are emerging in the political crisis that rocked River State recently. In the latest development, hundreds of problems occupied the gate, protesters, I should say, hundreds of protesters occupied the gate of Government House in Port Harcourt for peaceful protest in support of Governor Siminalayi Fubara. The protesters, comprising student unions, civil liberty organizations, and so on, the Hausa community, amongst others there, occupied the Government House main gate along Azikiwe Road in Port Harcourt. We'll share some of the goings on with you. Let's go there. Please come with me.
So submerge the will of Rivers people. So I want to call the governor. Don't be under any pressure by anybody, We want to call on the governor. No presentation of the second budget to purported members of the House of Assembly. We have one speaker recognized by law, Right Honorable Edison Ehie. And as much, the seat of the 27 lawmaker is vacant. We want to call on the governor. We don't know what you are doing. As our people, we voted for you, and you must listen to us. Tinubu is not from Rivers State. Tinubu is not from Rivers. And as much, His Excellency, please, we beg you in the name of God, don't listen to anybody, any attempt to recall anybody as commissioner who occupied the mayor. Thank you and God bless you. We gather your day, make we.
Well, today, footage from Port Harcourt.
Well, at any point in time, I'm not surprised about this because that has been the pattern over the years. Whenever anybody is in power, when there's crisis, everybody has the tendency to mobilize people. But then, one has to look at the fact that this government is just, the man came into power May 29 this year. That is roughly 7 months ago. I think both parties, both the governor and the former governor of the state, who happens to be a minister for the FCT, they should regard the people as their primary source of power. And if they are their primary source of power, the governor should busy himself between now and the next 18 months trying to fulfill all the campaign promises he made to the people. They should not allow politics destroy governance. Because as it is now, governance in Rivers State have been effectively put on hold. Because when a governor has a troubled mind, when he's not settled with his cabinet, when a governor is not settled with the members of the House of Assembly that are supposed to make laws for him, there's very little he can do with regard to impacting on the people of the state. So good governance is sovereign in Rivers State, whether we like it or not. Yes, it is good for people to come out, but let both parties know that they have to deliver to the people that elected them into power.
And you know this feeling that, oh, we elected you, you can't listen to other people. Things don't work like that. There's no state in Nigeria that is self-sufficient, that can imagine that it doesn't have to relate with others. So it's a nation. You can't say that a governor cannot listen to a president because you are the ones, because he did not come from your state. Look at the ridiculous statement that guy made, that
the 8-point resolution.
What is the president of Nigeria? If Rivers is on fire, did the leaders and elders of Rivers not tell Tinubu to intervene? Yes. At that judge, the former governor and others, they told the president to intervene. And you are saying because he's not from Rivers, he cannot intervene. Oh, that's ridiculous.
That's why I believe that it was.
Why do we go to this?
We have had instances like this before.
We have had
in the
Obasanjo was not from. Obasanjo is not from Osun now. He had to intervene in the Modakeke thing.
He was not from Plateau. He was not from Ondo.
And see them killing one another. Tinubu intervened in Ondo. Is he from Ondo State? Why do people mount the podium and say absolute rubbish? I mean, what we want is peace.
I think it's all planned.
If you can't say because the president is not from your state, he cannot intervene in your state. What kind of...
you know, you get the impression, gentlemen.
You may not appreciate, you may not like some of the decisions reached. They have a right to say, yes, some of them appear to favor Wike, you know. But to go to the extent of saying that She should not, governor should not listen to a president. And I don't understand. This thing, they need to continue to pursue peace on this matter, and we will get there. I don't even believe that this last meeting that the president held will be the final. In achieving peace, you have many meetings. Some of those issues can still be looked at again. But we must not believe that we must use force at every point. We are going to occupy a government house if we do not do this, if we do not do that. The Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt, at a point, too, felt that, look, because of the earlier success of occupying
the Golan.
What's that square called?
Okay.
No,
in China.
By the time Sisi,
Mohammed Morsi.
yes, Morsi's people, you know, they felt that, look, if you can achieve everything through civil disobedience. But when Sisi came in, it showed them that there is limit to occupation now. They chased everybody away from the place.
Yeah, from the square.
Yes,
Remember.
they chased them away. Whereas it was that square is the symbol of the Arab Spring struggle. But with Sisi, he will not allow it. I'm not saying the president should use force on rivers or anywhere, but appreciate intervention. You may not like all of what the president and co decided. Even me, I cannot say in clear conscience that I like every decision. But the spirit in even intervening is something that impresses me. He could have been aloof, he could have left them alone.
Yeah.
We are the same people who will be saying, oh, is it because it's not your state? Now you are saying that it's not from that state, it should not, therefore it should not intervene in your matters. Abba.
Well, today, Plato said, mankind will never see the end of trouble until lovers of wisdom are in charge, you know. In Nigeria, you get the impression it is politics of in the Eastern world, you talk about politics of right and left. But here, it should be politics of right and wrong. We must address it when it is wrong.
Well, I think
it is right.
I just think that governance is also part of the whole thing. Politics is part of governance, and there's no way you can separate governance from politics. But the fact remains that all parties who claim, because they claim to be representing the people, which is ironical, they should consider the people as the first priority. And that is putting every cast on the table. Every cast on the table, and we address it as per. You see, there's a saying in my place that when elders are in the market, the head of the child should not go bend. That reinforces the idea that so far there are still elders in this society. At least at a point, the elders in River State, they approach the president, asking him to intervene.
Because
now he has intervened.
And he has intervened, and they are not satisfied. Naturally.
Becoming troublous. Okay, we have our colleague, broadcaster journalist, DG Bademosi, joining us. DG, I greet you. Good afternoon. DG, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Yeah, so what can you tell us there, DG?
What do you make of this protest and the attempt to get the governor to not implement the decisions reached?
Well, let's talk about the protest. I just saw the video now, and it's there's no question at all that that protest could not have taken place at Government House without the approval of the governor or without his knowledge. So I think we're beginning to now see that the governor is actually listening to side talks. He's listening to all those who have been telling him that that agreement he signed was not a good agreement. So the governor obviously is he's in a very difficult position at the moment. Just a few days ago, he said, well, there's no price to pay for peace, and no price is too high to pay for peace. But now you could see that he is quite hesitant in fulfilling that his own part of the bargain. Remember, the 24 or 27 lawmakers now have dropped their impeachment but so far, as we know, the governor has not made any move at all to fulfill his own part of the bargain. And now you have these protests and demonstration. Clearly, if you ask me, organized. There's no way this protest could happen without, as I said, the approval of the governor. So the government will definitely have a hand in it. For me, this is like the governor sending an indirect message that he might be changing his mind in spite of the fact that he signed up to that agreement. Now, let's talk about the agreement. Just as some of you have said, that some parts of the agreement need not be, even though I personally do not find any part of the agreement as not okay, in the sense that, look, let's face it, the governor was there. The elders of Rivers State were there. There were so many people in that gathering when this agreement was reached, and the governor signed up to it. His commissioner of information has come out to say he did not sign at all under duress, and a day or two after, the governor made it very clear when he attended that function at the Pamo University that low price was too high to pay for peace. I mean, meaning that he clearly signed that agreement with all of his conscience, but now he's hesitant. So it's a clear, for me, it's just a clear indication that he's listening too much to what people around him are saying and those who are asking him not to accept the agreement. But there's something he doesn't understand. Those who are asking him not to accept this agreement or to renege on the agreement, they were actually not there when the agreement was signed. Yes. The agreement was signed now. They were not there when, for instance, he had an agreement with Wike to support him to become the governor. And in fact, even for some of the elder statesmen who have actually, can you hear me well?
Yes. Go
on. Yeah.
So even for some of the, yes. So even for some of the elder statesmen who have actually come out, and some of those who have come out, giving him all the backings, let's tell ourselves the truth. If, for instance, they had been asked before the election, even before the primaries, if, for instance, they had been asked to put forward someone to be the candidate of the party in that state, would any of them have actually considered Fubara? None. So it's true. You may have problems with Wike. Everybody. I mean, I have a problem with him too. I may not like his style, but the truth is that look, Fubara owes a lot to Wike. He became governor. What the problem is between them. As we speak today, both men have actually not told us precisely what the problem is. So we do not know. But the fact is, if you have signed up to an agreement as a governor of a state in your honor, you should fulfill that agreement, because at the end of the day, look, it's peace that we want. For those who are pushing the governor to take the legal approach, you never can tell how this will turn out. Who says that that his side is going to win the legal argument at the end of the day? You never can tell how, the court would interpret some of these acts. I've heard people say, look, there's no division.
Let's talk about the defection of those 27 guys to the APC. What does the law say? And who has the right to determine that a person has lost his seat? Because we are hearing people say, oh, they have already lost their seats in the House and all that. What is the procedure? Who should actually take that decision?
Okay, now.
Yeah.
Okay, now.
Did you get that?
Yes, I got that. Now, this is the point, JD. Let us look at all those. I'm not a lawyer, but let us even look at precedents. All those who were removed by virtue of their defection, by virtue of defecting from their party to other political parties, even the much celebrated case of Abegunde, how was he eventually removed? Was it not the court that removed him? It was the court that removed him. Now, in the case of these lawmakers, what we are failing to understand and what people are not looking at, they are not looking at the sequence of events. So on the 29th of October, there was an issue. the 29th of October, there was a rumor that the House was going to start an impeachment plot against the governor. And then on the 30th, the state, 29th now, the State House of Assembly was bombed. But then the lawmakers still went ahead to sit on the 29th, the full complement of the House, and they suspended 4 members. These 4 members refused to accept their suspension. They eventually had another sitting of their own, the 4 of them, at Government House, where they proclaimed one of them to be the Speaker. This factional speaker now, went to a court. First of all, went to a federal high court. A federal high court heard the case and then reserved the ruling for January. They later went to a River State High Court now, where a judge eventually gave them an ex parte motion recognizing this individual as the Speaker of the House. On the basis of that, they now suspended, they now declared the seats of those who had defected vacant. But the question, and for me, that's the most important thing, what people have actually not been looking at it, when these 4 lawmakers were suspended and they now had their own separate sitting, did they form the quorum to have that sitting that they had? I think that's the key. So, people have been talking about Section 109G. What about the other section of the Constitution that deals with the issue of quorum? So when the 4 of them sat to choose Edison Ehie as Speaker, did they form a quorum, the 4 of them, in a 32-member House? Then even when the court, the court in River State recognized Ehie as Speaker, that court did not de-recognize the other members as members of the State House of Assembly. The court did not make any pronouncement along that line. So the court did not say, these people are not members of the state, the 27 are not members of the State House of Assembly. The court simply said, look, they should not use the State House of Assembly complex to sit, because according to the court, until the House was renovated, and that they should not disturb the 4 lawmakers from sitting. And these people who defected came out to say there is division in their party. Now, am I a member of their party? No, I'm not. Their party. But the question is, if they are saying there's division in their party, then it behoves on their party now to take them to court to say, look, go and prove that there's no division in their party, in the party. So it's when the court has proven that, then the court can declare their seats vacant. So, and you even look at the second sitting where their seats were now declared vacant. The question you ask is, did the lawmakers, the 4 of them, did actually form a quorum to hold that sitting? And it's the same issue with the budget that was passed, that the River State governor presented that budget to them. Did they form a quorum out of the 32 in the House to accept that budget and then get it passed? So the issue of quorum, I think people are missing. They did not form a quorum in the first place, even to elect their own factional speaker. They did not form a quorum.
All right,
they did
Deji,
not
thank
form
you.
the quorum when they had that sitting now.
Thank you, Deji. We'll leave it there. Thank you very kindly for your time. That's Deji Bademosi, our colleague, talking about the situation in Port Harcourt. Jide, in taking this home, therefore, democracy in my country, one of the underpinning requirements for a healthy democracy is respect for rule of law.
Yes.
And over time, we have shown that we have no respect for the rule of law here. And that's why anything happens.
Some have respect for rule of law, many don't have. That is the situation. I want to see the governor and all the gladiators in River State allow the law to take its course. I've been a journalist for some time. I know that the courts, is the duty of the courts to declare seats vacant.
Yeah.
Sometimes they will even give a judgment asking you to pay back all the salaries
You've earned
yes.
over time.
So you now see people on the streets just saying, oh, they've lost their seat. You are not the judge now. I see some lawyers say, oh, they've lost their seats. It's still subject to interpretation. If the judge is convinced that, indeed, they had crisis in their party, of course, he's going to let them be. Some are saying today that even the national secretary position of the PDP is being contested by 2 persons. So, what do you interpret as a quarrel that can lead to people defecting from a party? So, I mean, let the law take its course. People should not take the law into their hands. We don't want to see that.
Yeah. After 63 years of countryhood today, we're still going around in circles.
Because most of those people who are operating our system were deliberately insincere because of personal issues. Like they just said there, those people who are protesting, they were not there when the agreement was reached between Wike and his godson. They were not there when the president had a meeting with both parties. And they now want to twist his hand. Like I said before, that rally cannot be organized without the connivance of the the governor. And look at the mammoth crowd there. But unfortunately, you know, people have a way of leading you ahead. Like Yoruba used to say, "Ma jolomo were." By the time the man is removed,
you will look back and not.
he will look back and nobody.
Yeah.
There's no way a river can flow without forgetting its source. When you forget your source, you are going to dry up. Whether we like it or not, in all states in Nigeria today, there are people who are instrumental to somebody getting to power.
Yes.
And you don't get to the middle of the stream and throw away the opadu.
Okay, then. It's still journalist hangout from the TVC, and this is a Friday. We're looking at issues thrown up by our country. We interrogate those issues.